Hi, my name is Anne, and I'm the host of Taking Questions on behalf of Women-S, and I am thrilled today to be speaking with Jennifer Adell, who is a licensed esthetician and a skincare expert. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
So here's my first question. Can you please explain the role of an esthetician and why it is so important for women who are in perimenopause and menopause to see an esthetician in addition to their dermatologist?
Of course. So in perimenopause and menopause, there's a lot of things coming up pertaining to the skin. And oftentimes, when you're in that stage of life, you're already looking for corrective treatments, which you can find in a medical spa where there's estheticians and dermatologists. But you're going to have your dermatologist who's really focused on those deeper treatments, those more maybe invasive products, lasers, injectables, things like that, but you really have to focus in on the health of your skin. So that's where an esthetician comes into place, right? You want to really maintain a healthy barrier, proper skincare habits, home care, more superficial things like peels, hydrofacial, LED lights. So it's really important to have somebody, or a team rather, that could look at you from a more well-rounded standpoint.
What should women expect when they go in for their first consultation with an esthetician?
I mean, I could only speak for myself, I
Mhm.
guess. The first thing that I want to talk about with anybody, but especially in that phase of life, is your goals, managing expectations, right? That's huge. But your diet, your lifestyle, your skincare habits up until now, medical history, what's practical for you? What will you realistically incorporate? And then kind of come up with and formulate a plan together based on all that.
So as you know, and you work with a lot of women who are going through perimenopause and menopause, and you know that our hormones are changing dramatically at this stage in our life. What is causing these noticeable changes to our skin, in addition to the hormones and the lack of stress? The lack of sleep, the stress, the anxiety. And how is this all changing our skin?
Well, our estrogen levels are dropping, right? So the declining estrogen and progesterone, which kind of rules the show, especially when it comes to skin, we don't even think about that, but it rules our barrier. It has so much to do with loss of collagen production. So with that loss of collagen, with that loss of cellular turnover, everything starts to become affected. You start to not be able to hold on to water the same way that you did. So you start to notice more dryness, thinning skin. You're not as plump. You're starting to see that loss of elasticity. Pigmentation starts to come through.
Mhm.
There's, you name it.
You name it. So, what factors then do you consider when selecting skincare products for your clients, especially women who are over 40? How do you determine what is best for your clients?
I really try to look at not just what I see, because that's right. I could put my own filter on what I see going on with their skin as much as I want, but it needs to resonate for you, for the client.
Mhm.
So I really try and hone in on what I'm hearing them tell me is their biggest concern. I might see sun damage all over the place, and I think that that's going to be the answer. So I might kind of mix something that's going to help that into their regimen. But if their greatest concern is volume loss, right, I need to kind of target and formulate a plan that's suitable for volume loss, and then mix in sort of my own tidbits here and there. But you really just have to really pay attention, especially in this stage, right? Because you're dealing with a
Mhm.
lot anyway, not just your skin, emotionally, physically. So being heard, I think, is incredibly valuable as an
Right,
esthetician.
right. Because so many factors, to your point, come into what's happening with your skin besides just the hormones. Is the stress, the anxiety, the lack of sleep, all of that.
No
Um,
joke.
in addition to the dehydration.
Right.
What ingredients do you recommend for women at this age? What should women be looking for in their products?
My kind of tried and true, no matter what the age, that I'm always looking to have in are like the three heroes. antioxidants, vitamin A, SPF. However, in menopause, peptides are also really important, right? Going back to that loss of elasticity, that loss of collagen, those are things that really sort of ramp up with these levels of estrogen decreasing. So I really, peptides to me are incredibly valuable.
You mentioned SPF. Why does SPF make a difference for menopausal skin specifically?
Well, with the estrogen levels dropping, there's less melanin. Melanin in our skin, we always think like, oh, melanin, that's what makes us have these sunspots. But when you have melanin, that's protecting you, right, against the UV rays. So with the drops of estrogen, the melanin's declining. So you always have to stay protected from the sun, but especially as those levels start to drop, it's more and more important.
As we're coming into summer, we're all thinking about our skincare for summer in addition to SPF. Is there certain routines, certain products in addition to SPF that we should be doing to get our skin ready for the summer?
Ready for the summer, you want to have just a really strong barrier, right? So there's so many environmental stressors coming our way constantly, including the sun, but pollutants, toxins, so if not everybody tolerates vitamin C beautifully, but if you don't, something like a niacinamide, you want an antioxidant, something that's going to protect you from that free radical damage coming your way. Retinol. Oftentimes people think, oh, it's summer, retinol makes me more sensitive to the sun. Yes, if you're wearing it during the day, but you don't want to give that up at night.
Right.
Vitamin A, whether it's retinol, retinaldehyde, bakuchiol, that is going to ramp up your cell turnover. And you need the cell turnover because it starts to decrease over time. And then of course your sun protection. Your AHAs, your peels, things that are exfoliating, resurfacing your skin. I love to really ramp that up in the winter to kind of take care of damage that happened throughout the summer and then get ready for the summer. And then you want to kind of scale back a little bit on that during the summer months.
Right. That was going to be my next question. Is there anything that we need to stay away from during the summer that could actually damage our skin because of the sun's intensity?
Yeah, you just want to make sure that your level of exfoliation is moderate, right? So that you're not stripping away and then leaving yourself more susceptible to sunburns.
Right.
And all of that.
Right. You mentioned retinol, and so one of our readers wrote in, why is retinol considered a must-have? How often should we be using it? And why is it important to look for products that contain niacinamide and glycerin? So those are two separate questions, but if you could let us know.
So retinol, I can't remember offhand, like exactly how many days the cycle is, right, for a turnover, but it's significantly shorter when we're in our 20s and maybe early 30s. And then it say it's every 30 days, now it's every 90 as we're in. Right. So vitamin A is going to get that turnover happening again. So your skin cells start to turn over, things look fresher, more vibrant. It takes care of pore size, fine lines, pigmentation, the loss of elasticity, acne. It's really kind of a game changer for I hate the term anti-aging, but it's sort of the number one all around anti-aging product. You have to be mindful of it depends on your skin's sensitivity, how much I'm sorry, I'm just tripping over my words here. There's so much to say, so much in my brain. If you have really tolerant skin that's already quite healthy, you can be at a level of retinol that you are using it every night and do so beautifully. Some people prefer a more fat soluble form that is more skin friendly, and you can use it on day to day. Some people choose really high impact retinols that are prescription that work instantly, but usually leave you a little bit compromised, flakiness, sensitivity, and we'll incorporate that maybe twice a week. So it really depends on where your skin is, how healthy it is already. That will determine how I will recommend it, clients starting.
Mhm.
It depends on your starting point.
Okay. And then other ingredients like
Yes.
niacinamide and glycerin.
Niacinamide you could be using daily. That's your
Mhm.
that's antioxidant. That's anti-inflammatory. It's great if you hold the inflammation in your skin. If you have rosacea, fantastic product. If you don't tolerate vitamin C well, it's a great alternative. And then things like glycerin, glycerin pulls water from the air, so it acts as a humectant, and that's going to help, especially in menopause, as you're losing water content, right? You can't hold on to that as well. That's going to help keep your skin plump, looking more radiant, and things like that.
We had another question about rosacea and exactly how do you treat rosacea on the skin?
Rosacea is a very tricky, misunderstood skin condition, and most people don't know this, but there's 4 different types of rosacea. So the first thing with rosacea is talking to either an esthetician, dermatologist, and understanding what kind of rosacea you have, and then go from there. But you want to, rosacea needs things like cellular turnover desperately, but people so often think the complete opposite. Retinol strong, retinol is going to irritate me. No, you need cell turnover to treat rosacea. So again, you just have to find the right provider to kind of steer you in the right direction on how to start. Things like anti-inflammatory diets, anti-inflammatory products like sea buckthorn are great for rosacea. And sometimes you do just have to go the route of a prescription. But again, understanding it, in my opinion, is the most important part about treating rosacea.
Mhm. So we often hear about the turkey neck, the jawline, the jowls. Those are the biggest complaints that women are having at this time. How do you treat those?
Oh, I wish I had
What's the magic answer?
The neck is so hard. I mean, it's just gravity is just doing its number.
How do we defy gravity?
So again, it depends on how invasive you want to go, right? So there are clients that have no interest in injectables, lasers, or going under the knife. And for people like that, I suggest, a combination of gua sha, right? So things that are going to stimulate, activate lymphatic drainage, work on the connective tissue and the muscles. That takes more consistency, right? You have to really be diligent about that and have habits formed. Things like new face microcurrent, that's working the muscle. So it's not going to work at a deep level, but it's going to stimulate your muscles on a daily basis so you can constantly get that lift. That's one avenue. You can go the route of sort of middle of the road, more, radio frequency combined with microneedling. So the radio frequency is working on skin tightening. And then the microneedling is focusing on collagen and elastin ramp up. Then there's, then you can have a lower lift. It just sort of runs the gamut. But there are things that you can do. Neck creams help, but again, that's working the health of the skin, peptides, working on collagen production. But you do kind of have to approach it from a few different angles as we mature.
Right, as we're maturing, and now we have the tech neck, right? For people who are on their laptops or on their cell phones and are doing this all day long.
Oh my gosh. I feel as though COVID sent us into tech neck hell.
Tech neck hell.
I'm really meticulous about my skin, and I have good habits, and my neck has changed drastically in the last 2.5, 3 years since COVID. I constantly, when I'm working at my computer, I prop my computer up on books.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
I'm trying to do anything to reverse. I don't know what's going to happen to these kids, the millennials. I don't know.
They better get in front of it. Get in front of it now. Let's talk about nails. Do you recommend anything for people who have brittle nails? What ingredients should we be looking for to help with our nails?
Nails. So collagen is I'm a big fan of taking liquid collagen. So I take liquid collagen for my joints, skin, hair, and nails. Biotin, I've read and studied a lot on that, and I feel like there's a lot of mixed reviews on how well that works. I've seen time and time again people talking about how collagen has repaired those cracks down, those vertical cracks down the center of the nails. Calcium, omega-3s. That's my suggestion. Yeah.
Great. What about foods? Are there specific foods that we should be staying away from to encourage better, healthier looking skin?
I think, there's, the guilty ones that we all know: sugar, refined sugars, processed foods, soda, caffeine, alcohol,
All right.
all of that. It's really to really ramp up skin health. We're talking about things like avocados, walnuts, sardines, fatty fish, omegas, broccoli, fruits and vegetables, things like that. That's really going to make a difference in you can get so much of your vitamin A, so many of the ingredients that you're getting from your products, you can get through your food, but they usually come in think about the rainbow. That's, yeah.
Recently, I interviewed an obesity doctor for taking questions, and she was also saying, get rid of the sugar, get rid of the sodas. And I'm thrilled to say it's been 2 months and I have gotten rid of sugar completely from my coffee, which nearly killed me. And I gave up the sodas, even Coke Zero, which I was under the false impression that Coke Zero would have been the better of the Cokes to drink. Just like stop it all. So it's nice to see that in addition to that, it helps your skin, right? By removing all of that from your diet.
Well, just how she probably spoke about how that causes so much inflammation. If you have inflammation in your gut, you have inflammation in your skin. So,
okay.
Skin health starts with the gut.
Got it. That's great. That's great. What are the biggest trends that you're seeing right now for women who are in this stage of life? What are the biggest skincare trends that you're seeing?
I'm seeing a lot of laser mixing, right? BBL with halo, CO2 lasers with microneedling, a lot of customization, and looking for these non-invasive solutions. There's a lot of sculpted skin happening right now. I feel like the millennials are ultra into prevention, and they are committed to things like face yoga, gua sha, sculpting facials, right? Things like face gyms popping up all over the place.
What is face yoga?
Face yoga is basically like workouts for your face that
I love it.
Yeah, that really do work, but you have to be committed, right? So
Sure.
I am seeing this younger generation, they're committed, they're doing it. I have my clients that come in and they ask to learn how to gua sha properly, and then they are off to the races, and they are like 5 times a week committed.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and things like M-Face, where you're using radio frequency with microcurrent, a lot of this partnering of services to get the results that you're looking for.
That's great. Well, I have really enjoyed our time today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to put your information below in the information so people can find out more about you, follow you on Instagram. But I've absolutely loved this conversation, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.